In today's video, I'm going to talk about what I've been up to today, which is this. Now, this is obviously the gravel area still, but now I've got the membrane down. I've spent quite a bit of time on this today, doing this, and it gives you an idea really where I'm headed with it. Before, it wasn't as obvious as it is now, so for all the doubters out there, I think you'll agree it's starting to look good. So what you have to do, and I'm saying this as if I'm talking to people who've never done it before, and that'll be sort of people who've never done landscaping really before. And what you must do when you do anything like this, you must put landscape fabric down. What it does is it creates a barrier between the soil underneath, and it allows you to put a top dressing on, or rather a substrate, and then a top dressing on top. And it keeps the two from mixing. If you don't do this, all you'll have is you'll have even more weeds growing, and you'll end up having to top dress it quite regular, and maybe even do the substrate as well. By the substrate, I'm talking this kind of thing, hardcore. The other one I've got up further up is the actual stuff I'm going to be using. That's going to come all the way down here onto the black, and then it will cover all this. It'll cover all this and all this. I shan't put any topsoil down. I shan't put any top dressing on it yet. Not ready for that. I just want to get the main bulk of the hardcore down so that we can walk on it. Because up to now, we've had nothing but mud all over the place, and it's not good. You don't want to see that. So as you can see now, it's starting to look good. It takes time. Gardens always take time. Let's have a look at it from this angle. These things aren't easy to do, but that gives you an idea when we come through this archway, what's going to be happening. It just looks better. Now, I could have left this to grass, which is what people thought I was doing, but that was never intentional to leave it like that. I just didn't have time at the time to leave it to grass. To be honest, grass is a monoculture. The lawn grass is a monoculture. It has nothing to offer as far as I'm concerned. So I try and get rid of as much of it as I can. And if you've got a lot of lawn, maybe you should do that as well. Or at least consider getting rid of more of it and put borders in and features, just like I'm doing. So this is sort of an industrial grade, sort of, what would I call this? The membrane that's here, it's really an horticultural grade membrane that you really need to find. But you can get the one with the blue over there. That's just bought from B&Q, and it's all, well, it is as good as the other stuff. But you can't buy a lot of that from B&Q. You buy it in metre rolls, metre wide by, what would I say, about 10, maybe 10 metres. And sometimes that's just not enough. Now, if you can get it from a professional supplier, the bigger section down towards the door there that you can see there, that's one big chunk. Now, you're better off trying to find somebody who can supply you that, because it's a lot easier. So let's go around here and we'll see just how nice it's going to look. So you can see we're creating a picture. Eventually, all this garden will be picked out from the very fact that we've got gravel going on there. So I'm not really calling it the gravel garden. I'm more calling it the gravel area, because that's how I see it. Oh, I've just gone and pruned one of my shrubs. That won't do it any good. Anyway, that's what you get for walking backwards. So, as we walk up these garden steps, we get a nice view. Then we come up to that like that, and another great view. Well, I think it's great. I don't know what you think. Anyway, let's go further up, and let's attack it from a different area, so you get some sort of idea what it looks like from up here. This is really the shady area under this section here, and what will happen is eventually you'll walk through this gate, and it's a bit of a journey. You can take two options. You can go to the seating area, which is a little bit of a seating area there, or you can walk further down over to the shack, to the secret garden, wherever you wish to go. But this section here is to bring you down to the cottage itself, and as you can see, it kind of sets that up. So we've got the pergolas to the left, and then we've got what I called the ribbon in one of the earlier videos, and that's the reason I've done it, to give this definition line, really. So when you sat in here, let's sit in here, there you go. So that gives you an idea what it's going to actually look like, which I think you'll agree is nice. And that kind of separates it, gives it some identity from under the pergola when we sat it, because I'm sat under the pergola at the moment. There you go, that's where I'm sat. And it just gives you this sort of separation, I guess. It's just something I like to do, and I knew this would look good, and a much better use of these slabs than where they were. Where they were was down the bottom of the garden, holding the bank up, which they didn't need to do. These rocks, they were under the ground in another village. We dug those out, and I brought them up here in a van, as I've mentioned before. Now the Pinus mugo, finally got it dug in, and it's very heavy, and it had I said to Kathy, it's got one chance of going in that hole, because it's so heavy I won't be able to lift it out. Anyway, as it happened, it had 3. I had to lift it back out. I didn't dig it deep enough, so I had to dig it back again, and then realised I still hadn't dug it deep enough. And it's a nightmare when you're on your own. You've got to do these things. But I did it. Now I am going to be pruning this Pinus mugo. I'm going to open the branches a little bit more, because I want you to be able to. I want you to be able to see the actual beauty of these things, these little pines. And Pinus mugo is a good one, and there are different varieties of Pinus mugo with sort of named varieties as well. Now, it's looking good because it works well with this kind of thing. So when you get this type of rock formation, you know it's going to work well. This is what you get in nature with this stuff. Now what's going to happen soon is, it's, as you can see through these little stubs here, that's called candling. Now that's the new growth basically. So it's going to grow tall, and then you either choose to clip those back by half. So once they've grown to say here, you could clip them back by half, or you could take them away completely and hold it back. But what you're going to get once you start doing this, you'll start getting what they call bud back. So in this branch here, what will happen is you'll get a bit of bud back growth. So that's as it sounds. Buds will grow from there, and it'll thicken out again. So you've got to keep on top of it. I'm kind of almost trying to keep it small. So kind of, I don't really want to use the term bonsai, but I kind of am. That's kind of where I've headed with it. But it's gonna really stand out, and it's going to be one of the main features. And I will allow it to get a bit bigger. I mean, it will get up to, I don't know, 5 foot if I allow it, but I don't want it to get that big, and I will stop it by then. Now, back to this Pinus contorted Chief Joseph. Still looking very, very good. I'm intending to plant this. This is exactly where it's going. So hopefully over time it'll get to about 4 foot. Hopefully in my time I'll see it get to that, because it's quite slow growing, and it should look good. What else can I tell you about it? Nothing really. I mean, we've pretty much got there. I'll do another video next week once this is all down, because this has been ordered now and it's ready to come. If you're not following me already, if you just press the subscribe button, it doesn't cost you a penny, as I keep telling you. So don't worry about spending money on me. But you'll simply subscribe to what I do, and you'll get all the latest videos that I upload onto my channel, which is up at Grassy Bottom. I now do a podcast. If you search on any platform, Amazon Music or Spotify, you should find it. If you look for Up at Grassy Bottom, you should find me. It'd be great if you can have a listen. I've recently done one with Diarmuid Gavin, so if you want to listen in on that, on part 1, we've got part 2 coming up with him. But that'd be great. So yeah, so we're carrying on and trying to help you out and give you some ideas of where you should be headed. And hopefully this will give you, people who want to do a gravel garden, some idea of what you want. Okay, talk to you again. Ta-da.